Hi, just wanted to create a video because I know that I'm getting through this blockage, right? And it's about content sharing and why it is that I'm not feeling like I can. There's a sense of inhibition, being inhibited. So this is a freestyle. It really is about demonstrating the download in real time. And I'm just going to collect some information here. So I've had this eye and it's been bloodshot for about, this is the 5th day now. And I started to journal this morning around insight. And also the idea of things, because I've been really, the work's been highlighting the importance of energy consumption, energy distribution, energy collection. It's like we need fuel. There's this metaphor about the rocket that goes up. One of the members was speaking about this on a dream, the rocket. And this is about taking off. But we need fuel. And so we need some fire in this engine. So everything is energy. And what makes a difference from someone who's able to produce and those who are more dormant, stagnant, it's about being able to run on the right petrol. We're not lazy. We just need to figure out the petrol and, I think I'm trying to get a metaphor here. There's something that I connected to around, I know I keep talking about Michael Jackson. The thing is, why I'm really drawn to it is because he didn't have a childhood and he dedicated his life to craft, to creation. And I can get that. I can relate to, everyone can relate to people in different ways. And that's what is infusing with me as he's having this comeback. His spirit is having this comeback. And I watched on him and what he said around music, and that too many artists, what they do is they get in the way of their own music, and I always say some people feel the rain, others get wet. I've also used the concept of the spaces in music, and it's the spaces in the notes that make the music. So when I'm talking about the petrol, knowing what the petrol what petrol we need, it's about saying what do we need to insert in our pause moments to help us recalibrate onto our next move, to our next step. When we speak and we're having an important conversation, it can be good to take a breath before interjection, so that you can feel what really needs to be said here, and you can assess, make a choice as to what you want to project. And I always say, get into the feeling, get into the intention, and whatever needs to be said will be said at the back end of that. And this is what I'm doing here in this video. Is my intention is to be a little bit more raw and transparent, but also to let go of control. That thing about the artist getting in the way of the music is to not use my head my don't try to control what I'm here to do. And I'm here to inspire and to talk on freedom. And there was this dream that came out in the last live, and a member had shared. If you go onto my live video, you can see a member shared about being in the sky in a plane and being both the suit and the man who was wearing the suit. And she was female, but obviously we're talking about masculine energy, the provision in you. And I always talk about being in the multi-universe, that we can be in many places at one time. But what was interesting was the interference that took place in the dream, and being able to hear two conversations at once, and things being scrambled, like audio was scrambled, like there was a radio on in this dream. This is so metaphoric, powerful embodiment, powerful message. And I thought about words, and I came across this concept about words, letters being scrambled. This is separate from the dream, by the way, but just putting on the archive of what I've discovered and applying it in application to what I feel this dream is representing. And there's this science around scrambled letters, is that if you get the beginning and the end word in the right way, like all the bits in between that are scrambled, you can actually read the visuals of it. So take a text and scramble the words up in between each word, and you can actually read the sentence. And that's because the mind predicts meaning and assigns meaning and order to things based on memory. So you've seen the words before, so you know what the words, automatically you know what they're trying to say, even though it's not coming out visibly in the correct order. And I think that's what the stream was picking up around words being scrambled is, and I talk about this on life, is that as long as you know, we begin and we end the same way. We begin having to learn movement and words and functionalities, and at the end of our life we kind of lose that again and go back to the way we came in. And in life, if we look at it as we have nothing to lose, if we create the I have nothing to lose mindset, like what is the worst that can happen type thing, how if we did that, applied that method regularly, imagine what we can achieve by taking leaps into things. And I feel that I want to tie it up with the I situation, about literally self-examining things, because it is important to reflect regularly. I talk on this a lot, and how it really helps with your higher self-awareness, intuition, clairvoyancy, self-reflection is key. And it makes a difference to giving a read and really connecting with insight in a depth that goes beyond just a sort of prediction. So it's important to self-examine and have this insight. And here I am inside myself, right? In here. But externally, I have this bloodshot eye. And this could represent not being able to see the truth in the external environment. And it can go in many ways. And how I could take this meaning is perhaps what I'm not able to see is what's in front of me. That the resources are right in front of me for bigger and greater things. And I know it on a certain level because this is about fear. I could purely look at my ailment as in a physical level and start to become a little bit concerned about my sight, or you could go down a rabbit hole. And it's funny that, because I absolutely love Alice in Wonderland. And there's a saying, isn't it, about being crazy. And Rabbit, I believe, replies to Alice, he says, we're all crazy here. We can think we're going mad sometimes when we listen to our inner voice. Whispers, interruption, they feel like interruptions. It's like, get out the way, it's interfering with my logic. But what we're doing feels sort of, it feels jarring. What I'm teaching here is to build more strength in the part of self that it appears to be irrational. But we want to create framework, we want to create structure, we want to create containers to place that madness so it's controlled and not all over the place. Which is why what I'm thinking of is the retreats, the master classes, the Zooms, the closed Zooms, the forums where you get to explore, reflect, receive information that is highly expansive. And so what I feel I want to leave this video with is mood, the understanding of a mood. You know, when you say I'm in a bad mood, or yeah, I'm just in a mood, or I could be in the mood, depends how you look at the mood, but it sets a tone. Tonality is everything. It sets the tone for your atmosphere internally and then out into the environment. What mood do you want to create? Soft lighting, you know, my sister had a party, her 40th, and it was amazing. There was a saxophone player, there were cocktails on one stand, and just really nice touches, you know, really thoughtful lots of little finishing touches. It was the way she created the cocktail glasses with the little picture of her baby picture on the glass, and my dad did the canapes, and it was the way the canapes were made and put on the plate with the little garnishes, and it's all the little things that create a mood, and that mood takes you, it sets signals out for what you want. And in order to be able to find out and preempt your mood, there's initial intention. Now, my sister's party, it was, I want to celebrate my 40th. I want to create a place where all my friends and family can celebrate my life and be part of that. And it goes back to the idea of the retreats that I want to start to do is kind of like that. It's like, come to discover yourself, but celebrate. It really is important to celebrate. And to celebrate, you kind of you really do have to go in to speak to your inner child. Because the inner child is play, spontaneity. That's the child is play. So, you know, the thing is you can't just pull up the child by her hand or his hand and say, come on, let's go, when it's been sat on the book mat for so long, waiting for you to tell it an interesting, more adventurous story. So you have to breathe life back into your child and gently guide the child to cooperate. She doesn't want to really speak to her parent, who's been her inner critic, right? Who is just busy telling, has been definitely telling, been busy telling the child off. I hope this video makes sense, because I just kind of want to put out where I'm at, unpolished, and see where it lands. So I'm going to pop this on the page in the group, and as always, I encourage your comments, and because it's all about collaboration with me. And I will connect with you all very soon. Have an amazing, enjoy the sun. It's amazing out there.